Yo, how's it, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Catching Feelings. We're out here at AMP Studios. We appreciate the hospitality. And I'm here with another guest. And, she's very heated, but obviously you'll understand as we converse because she's very
Marvelous.
opinionated. But I'd like for you just to introduce yourself to the people, who you are, where you're from, and maybe just a little bit of a background, just that people can adjust to understanding who you are.
Okay. All right. My name is Sibongiseni Sigasa. I wear many hats, but I'm a registered counselor by profession.
Okay.
And, registered counselors are psychological practitioners who perform psychological screening, basic assessments, and also conduct psychological interventions.
Okay.
So we work with individuals, groups, we even work with employees and companies. And yeah, I'm in practice.
Okay.
Currently, I have a practice in Four Ways. It's called Blooming Minds. So that's who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, when it comes to, because like in your field of what you do, you deal with a lot of people in general, and obviously, as you would know, our show is based on the interdynamics of just relationships, the what's happening between men and women, the gender wars, just the dating space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just from your experience with the amount of people you get exposed to, what would you say is the difference of how has dating changed from back then till now?
Sure. Um, is there even dating in this day and age? That's the question.
Yeah.
Because I think I heard somebody a few days ago ask if people basashela, if guys basashela, or is it a thing of we just talking and we find ourselves
Yes.
in a relationship and then we're like, and guys have this thing yokuthi angishelanga.
Oh, yeah, like they reserve the right.
They reserve the right
Yeah.
because clearly they didn't.
Okay.
They really didn't. But I think dating has really evolved.
Okay.
Because people are exposed to so much. It's the information age now. People are easily accessible. There's online dating. So it's really evolved. And I mean, people have freedom of choice.
Okay.
You are no longer confined to dating somebody in your hood. Now
Yeah.
you can date somebody in Cape Town
Yeah.
when you're in Johannesburg, right? So I think the dating space has changed also with so much variety in terms of communication. People are also able to date a number of other people,
Yeah.
because this can be my online girlfriend.
Yeah.
This is my personal girlfriend. This one,
Yeah.
so.
And then also, like, what do you think between the two genders? Who do you think has changed the most in the past 20 years? Who has evolved the most between men and women?
Sure, I think women
Okay.
have really evolved.
Okay.
I don't know. I stand to be corrected,
Yeah.
but I'd say they've changed in a sense. Ukuthi they taking their power back.
Taking it back.
Yeah, taking it back.
Better than it again.
Hayi kade nithathile. Sure.
Okay.
Kade nithathile.
Okay, but just elaborate on that a little bit more.
But I mean in a sense yokuthi they have freedom to choose.
Okay.
Correct? They've always had, actually women have always had the freedom to choose a partner.
Okay.
Right? Because men will come at you bakshele, but women have the choice to say, okay, you can be my boyfriend. Right? They have more of the choice. We can blame women for their choices.
Okay.
Mageza zokhala, say my boyfriend's doing this and that.
Yeah.
We can blame you and say you chose him.
Yeah.
He didn't force his way into your life.
Okay.
Right? So they have more power in a sense that they are more liberated. They're able, now they say, it's not me. They say they can do what men do.
Okay.
Right, in terms of having multiple partners. Not that I support that
Yeah.
or anything like that. They can also kind of do, let me put it like this. They do
Do
what guys used to do.
Oh, okay.
In terms of dating a number of people. They also feel the freedom to do it now. which was a guys only kind of thing,
Yeah.
and you were labeled a certain kind of woman if you were dating a number of guys. But now they are more comfortable and they're okay with it. So I think women have literally evolved in the dating space.
And then do you think the evolution of women, as you would put it, has that helped or made the dating scene worse or bad or whatever?
I think it's made it worse
Okay.
than it was. I don't know.
You think it made it worse?
I think it's made it worse. I think it's made it worse thinking about it.
Okay. In which way?
Yeah. I mean, it was only men who were privy, to eat him and things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, women now are also able to say, me too. I also want a side person.
Or two husbands.
Or two husbands,
Yeah.
I also want two husbands or three.
Yes.
Nyanlamisa,
Yeah.
it happened.
Yeah.
It's happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Gogo's Koteni. she said she wants a husband.
Okay.
Right, and it's evolved. You do what you want to do, but it's made things worse, because instead of correcting the narrative and seriously, women have all the power, and taking your power back, you're making situations worse, doing what the other person does.
Yeah.
Which never helps in correcting a wrong.
Mm-hmm. So then, is it fair to kind of assume, or I mean, as you just kind of going from what you're saying, but obviously, within the evolution of men and women have changed the most. We've got that, and them changing the most, obviously, it has now affected the dating situation as well.
It has.
So now, it having affected the dating way of how things are done. So, is it fair that modern women still are looking for traditional values? In men, or traditional men, let me say.
Sure. It is fair.
Okay.
It is fair, because as much as things may change, a man is still going to be a man.
Okay.
A woman is still going to be a woman, right?
Okay.
It doesn't change. Do you change just because times change? Do you change? Men are still men.
No, but to your point, you say that women have changed. They've kind of become more like men, if you're gonna put
playing the field, playing the field. But men stay men and women stay women.
Okay,
okay.
Sorry to cut you off. So let's just maybe take it back a little bit. Okay, so how would you define a traditional woman?
Oh my goodness. A traditional woman, I mean, takes care of the home. I can't really define them, because I'm not a traditional woman.
Oh, really? What are you?
No, I'm a modern woman.
And you're a modern woman.
I'm
okay, then explain the difference, maybe for people who do not know the difference.
I can't, because I don't know what traditional women do. But I guess I may assume, looking at my grandmother and my mother, they would make the home, right? Look after the children, and do the homely stuff.
Okay,
right?
Take off the family, basically.
Okay. And not need to work, correct?
Yeah.
And when I say modern woman, I mean that I do work, and I do take care of the children. But there are also some chores that I don't like doing, that I would kind of prefer that my partner or my husband, because I'm not gonna live with no man, right? My husband helps out in the home, because I'm also bringing in the money and I'm helping in the home.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking 50-50 at this point.
I'm not 50-50. Sorry. I'm
Okay.
not 50-50.
Okay,
but I'm a modern woman. I can work. I can help you in the home with finances and all of that. But I'm not 50-50.
Where does the 50-50 part come in, and when does it go out? Because from what you're explaining, that because you're also working, you would expect also the man to kind of now chip in and also kind of maybe, I'm assuming, help you out with the
Okay,
house
maybe
stuff.
let me ask it this way. What is 50-50? Because maybe in my head, I'm like
Well,
50-50. You're asking
yeah.
me to pay 50. No.
Well, I mean, I think that's a tricky thing about dating now, because the whole concept of 50-50, I feel like women, they tend to kind of put it in certain situations where now this can be 50-50 here, like no, it can be 60-40, and here, you understand what I'm saying? But when they talk about it, they still put it in a space of, in the whole context of saying that, like, you need to help out within the house. You need to do some of the chores because I'm also working. That somebody who listens to that can assume that, okay, it's a 50-50 relationship. It means the bill of the house, the mortgage, we have to like split it 50-50. When we go
Never.
out, 50-50.
It can never be my life.
No, but you understand how how the
Yeah.
whole concept of 50-50
I
probably gets
understand.
lost in translation. Yeah.
I do get it. But I would say I'm 100, right? I'm 100 kind of woman.
Okay.
Okay.
How does that look like?
Because I am working, right? When I go to work, I put in 100%. It's not like I'm working
Yeah.
50% of the time, right?
Okay.
I'm working, I'm bringing in money. Now, when we divide that money, ne,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean hore. Obviously, man, I think actually it's very personalized to each relationship.
Okay.
For example, in my ne, hypothetically,
Okay.
if I was in a relationship, not
Yeah.
even no, if I was married now,
Okay.
how it would work is I go to work, you go to work, we come back. If you like cooking, go ahead, cook. I'll take care of the children. And the reason why I have this mindset is because that's the home I come from,
Okay.
right? My mom never cooked. I think she only cooked one meal for us
In your entire life.
in my whole entire.
Okay.
I can only remember one
Okay.
because it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
But my dad, because he was extremely good in cooking, he did the cooking, right? And I would say we come back home, we share the chores according to what you like doing.
Okay.
So that it doesn't feel like I'm saying just because I'm taking care of the children, you need to now sweep the floor. Do you understand?
Yeah. Okay.
So when we come back and you find me taking care of the children, cook or do something. It's just helping. And that is not 50-50. It's both of us putting in 100% of the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now when the man arrives home, he's like, I've been working the whole day. I'm tired. It's unacceptable in your book.
It's not unacceptable. Of course, I'm a human being, right? I understand. But you can't always come back home tired. Because I also come back home tired, right? But because we are building a home here, right? We are building a home. We need to now also make the environment nice for the both of us, so that when we are both done with our duties, we can come back together, chill, and have a great time. How are we gonna have a great time when I've done all the work and you did zero, and you still expect me to have a conversation and other things with you?
Okay, so then what do you think of the concept, my money is my money, your money is our money? That women really are pushing the whole narrative of saying that, to say, listen, my money is my money, your money is our money, as the man.
Ooh, my money is my money, and eventually my money is my money. But I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Yeah.
I think also they need to have their minds renewed.
Okay.
Right? When you have a partner, it's exactly that. They are a partner.
Okay.
They are not a solution out of your problems. They are a partner. They are there for you to work together towards a particular goal. Maybe, I don't know, I really don't think that is a correct mindset to have.
Okay.
When you say my money is my money and your money is our money, clearly you have ulterior motives. Why are you with this person? Are you with this person because you want them for their money? or you want them because then they afford you a certain level of freedom in terms of you don't have to pay the mortgage, because when you live there for free, you don't have to buy the groceries. So you are a guest in this home. There's no part that you are coming in and contributing towards. So I don't think it's a healthy mindset, honestly, for me. I don't know about the other girls, but for me, I don't think it's a healthy mindset.
Yeah, because I feel like I think like the reason I'm saying that because I feel like that comment or that statement on its own, it comes from the whole narrative that a lot of modernized or modern women are looking for a man with traditional values. But obviously, traditional values is to assume that the woman herself is traditional, which means she's willing to be submissive, to take care of the family, take care of the home, and let the man be the provider, be the protector, and do all that. But obviously, from what we've established from what you said, women are now modernized. Now they're working. Now they're making their own money. Now they're able to kind of be in the same level as men. But now that statement now does also come from the fact that because they are now making their own money, but they still want a man who's a provider, which is why it's to say, listen, I'm a modern woman, but I'm still looking for a traditional man. A man is going to provide and do all that other stuff, but I'm still a modern woman.
Yeah.
So you see, now sometimes the disconnect comes where now a man himself, he's traditional himself, he's a provider. Maybe he prides himself on that. So look, I'm a provider, I'm a traditional man. I'm looking for a woman who's willing to submit to me as the man, as the leader. You know what I mean? But now he gets into the dating world and then he deals with modern women who, for them, is like, listen, for me, I'll only submit to a certain type of guy, or I work, I make my own money. You understand that? And then her saying that, then she comes into the relationship saying that, yes, you must still provide, be that traditional man, but I'm still modern, so I still make money. So that money is my money. But because in the context of the relationship, your money is our money, as how traditional it was. Because a man would go to work, come back, and then the money is for the house, for the home. You sign it, but you understand what I'm saying? So that's why maybe I was trying to understand, or maybe just to maybe get your perspective on how you think of that disconnect of that.
I like what you said. You said he's a traditional man, right? And he's looking for a traditional woman. How did he get to a modern woman?
No, because like the market is filled with them.
Yeah, but then he needs to not settle.
Okay.
He needs to not settle because his intention, right?
Yeah.
He says he wants a traditional woman who's going to submit to him, who's going to watch the kids, who's going to want to make the home a home.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And a modern woman, it's warm in the home, but it's probably not going to be as warm as he wants it to be.
Yeah.
Right? So he needs to stick to what he wants.
Okay.
And not try to get somebody and change them to be who he wants them to be. Because that's where the problem is. You find people dating people they are not supposed to be dating.
Okay.
Right? It's like, have you ever heard of the term equally yoked?
Okay.
It's a Bible term, right? But let's equally yoked, and I like when you are equally yoked, you move to. Do you know what a yoke is? How it looks with okay, so it's a yoke used for cattle, right?
Okay.
And it moves them forward.
Okay.
And it's put on their necks.
Okay.
Ne? And when one goes that way, they both go that way.
Okay.
Ne? Imagine having this yoke on your shoulder with your partner, and your partner is a modern woman, and she's pulling in that direction, and you are going straight. Will that yoke not hurt you?
It will.
Or hurt the other person? But if you get a traditional person, and you are both moving in the right direction, when you say, Mama, ngiyezekaya, ngicela ukuthi, cook something for the family, I'm bringing so-and-so home.
Yeah.
They will jump and do it in a blink of an eye. But if you've got this modern woman and you say, cook for smangmang, yo, yazi angafika ekhaya ngisesele kude ngisasemsebenzini bangicele ukuthi ngisebenze ishift extra, it's not going to work.
Okay.
I think people should date who they who aligns with them. If you're traditional, date a traditional person. But if you're not traditional, don't date not a traditional human being, because it's going to really confuse your life. And I think that's where relationships become tricky,
Yeah.
because you've dated basically somebody you're not supposed to be with.
Okay. All right. No, I hear that perspective as well. But I'm also saying, I think the dating market, like it's a bit tricky. Like I said, that modern women, modernized women, they're looking for a man with traditional values in most cases. And unfortunately, in the dating market right now, it's very pulled, like stretched to the
Yeah.
extent of where like the biggest commodity is finances, it's lifestyle, it's how like how much money you make. I mean, and funny enough, that's a very small percentage in terms of how the kind of guys that women are looking for, because most of them, an average guy usually does get overlooked for a guy who's probably well off. You understand? And obviously, and I understand just from a biological perspective, it makes sense that obviously a woman will go for the alpha, the biggest alpha. And as I'm saying, for survival intentions. And unfortunately now the only measurement of being an alpha is probably the amount of money you make, or how you look, or maybe your lifestyle and stuff like that. So it's become a bit joked, and maybe it brings back to my next question. How do you think like social media has affected dating now?
I mean, social media, a lot. And I mean, negatively,
Okay.
I must say, negatively. Because people see what they see on social media and they expect their lives to be like that. That when you have a man, you go on vacations, or or when you have a girl, I'm constantly attacking my girls.
Yeah.
When you have a woman,
Yeah.
you constantly take her to vacations, or you must, do her hair, or she must come and clean at your house and make sure it's smelling good and cook for you. It's pushing a certain narrative, which is probably not what is happening.
Okay.
Because people don't let us into their lives. Like, we don't sit there and watch them the whole 24 hours.
Yeah.
They only let us into the good bits. Maybe he came back and he brought you flowers.
Okay.
And you take pictures. And the backstory, we don't know the reason for the flowers.
Yeah.
Maybe he messed up and
Okay.
he's bringing the flowers, but the message that we are getting is, oh, he loves me so much. He's constantly bringing me flowers every day, but he's making up for something that we don't know. So social media shows us the life that you want us to see, but the life that you don't want us to see, you definitely won't put it there. And that's what people take.
Yeah.
And then they expect their boyfriends or girlfriends or husbands and wives to live up to that.
And then what would you say about okay, now obviously like that's from a relationship perspective, but now what do you think about the narrative that a lot of jaded women are kind of also pushing towards maybe other females, like in terms of either, like now a guy can take a girl to McDonald's now as the first date. I mean, that seems very underwhelming, or it's a big no.
Yeah.
I mean, and then there's the whole thing of these girls on social media who have got big followings, but then they still push their narrative of like, like a man who does not buy you flowers, or maybe a man. Okay, fine, they pay on the first date. I think it's an obvious one. I think as a man, you need to pay on the first day, on the first date.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's. You have to. I mean, like, you're the one who asked her out, so you have to, like, obviously, you have to kind of,
Pay all the days, man.
You understand? But yeah, but going back to what I was saying, that I mean, like that whole narrative of, like, what do you think of the narrative that's being pushed from modern women to? Because obviously, you must remember that there's young girls who are growing up in this world, and they're seeing all these comments, they're seeing all these girls were saying all these things that if a man can't do 1, 2, 3, then he shouldn't be. Or if a man takes you to McDonald's for the first date, it's a big no. Because now that obviously now classifies you, in most cases, a guy will classify as a gold digger if obviously that's your narrative or that's how you're approaching situations. So how would you kind of respond to those kind of context of messaging?
Sure. I think I think that people should maybe before going into something, you should understand why you're going into it, right?
Okay.
So if you're going to go into a relationship, understand what it is that you are trying to gain from this relationship, right? What is your purpose? What is your motive? Are you looking for somebody to marry? Are you looking for somebody to just vibe with? You know, and depending on the answer, you'll know how to vet the person. So as a guy, if I'm going to ask you out and I'm going to be like, hey, we're going to go to McDonald's, right? And I, as a girl, say no, and maybe you are looking for somebody to marry, then I would, thank the Lord that you said no.
Okay.
And I would, let you go, because why are you expecting something so great? Like, why must it be so grand? Are we not trying to get to know each other? Right? The place shouldn't matter. The place shouldn't matter. What if I'm a millionaire and I'm just like, let's just go to McDonald's?
Yeah.
Let's just go to and also, what are you looking for from the person? Right? I think people always look at the wrong things. It's always provision, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's always, hey, I want a man who can provide for me, or I want a woman who can make a home. What about the character of the person?
Yeah.
What if they make loads of money and they're just a really terrible person?
Yeah.
What about your peace, right?
Just quickly, just to insert, I mean, with that being said, I mean, I've heard of seeing a lot of girls say, I'd rather cry in a Ferrari than in a Toyota.
Yeah, then that's their choice. That's their choice.
So I think that's how the reasoning comes across with those kind of questions when it comes to character. Because also what I've realized as well, when it comes to girls, I've realized there's a difference between a man who arouses you and a man who kind of is right for you, if that makes sense. And I think the disconnect comes to where a woman will choose a man who long term he makes sense, even though the guy does not arouse them. And sometimes then they'll lean towards kind of maybe being more persuasive, or not maybe like being more persuasive, but kind of chasing the guys who arouse them. And those are usually the bad boys, the guys who don't really care, but that turns them on for some reason. You know what I mean? But the guy who's safe, the guy who, he'll buy you flowers, who's very chivalrous, he'll open the door. That guy, yes, it looks good on paper, but he's boring. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, that's the dating scene right now, which is why I feel like it's so difficult, because of those small, complex stuff that's happening, where it's like, okay, cool, I'm everything that you want, but maybe I'm not tall enough for you, or that's for me. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Or maybe I'm the guy who will listen to your problems, but I don't make as much money as somebody who will be able to take you out on trips, on dates, you know what I mean? And then women get frustrated of that, because now they feel like, he wasn't my first choice, type of thing, Okay. And guys end up feeling like that, because they feel like, maybe I'm a bit inadequate, which is why I think the whole concept of cheating as well has kind of become a thing of, it's very funny, because like, when a woman cheats on a man, like he'll hardly ever forgive her, right? But then if a man cheats on a woman, it seems like it's more acceptable to a certain degree.
When a man cheats.
When a man cheats, And what do you think of that concept, though? Because we're speaking about it offline, so I think maybe it's good to touch on it, because I know you feel strongly about that whole double standard, if you may. Yeah.
Okay, before we get to the double standard,
Yeah, yeah.
right? I think you mentioned something so important,
Uh-huh.
correct? When you said that in the dating scene, how people choose
Yeah.
their partners is more physical, you know? And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say for both men and women, right?
Okay.
You choose. I mean, are you going to walk up to an unattractive lady? Okay, an unattractive lady and just ask them out, or what's the first thing that stands out to you before you approach a lady?
Okay, but then okay, obviously, like men are visual creatures. We know this, right? Right?
Are you really visual? So are
Yes.
you not? Are we not spiritual people? Are we not spirits? Are we not living in a body?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, but I'm talking about just in terms of like strictly dating and I mean, I feel like the spiritual part maybe can jump in as you progress, you get to know
Oh my
somebody.
gosh, Spaff, no,
What do you mean? No.
you can't. So the biggest part is the spiritual.
Okay.
And I'm saying this out of experience,
Okay.
personal experience,
Yeah.
and also out of counseling clients,
Okay.
right? Spiritual should be the foundation.
Okay.
The foundation, because imagine this, right? Let me make a scenario. You ask a girl out,
Yeah.
um, and say, for example, she's a Sangoma, you are a Christian. It's nice. You connect on a physical level, you connect on intellect, you connect socially, you are just okay, you know. You can go out and have a really great time. And then there comes a time, the spirit now, right? Now you want to pray at 2 a.m. In the morning. And there she wants to beat her drum
Okay.
and do her thing, right? And then okay, you still live together, gahle, you know, you are able to do whatever it is that you need to do to coexist. And then and I'm gonna make this example because I just recently saw it
Okay.
on TV, where this man is asking his wife for his temp,
Okay.
ne?
Yeah.
And because the ancestors wanted their own bride, because she's not
Yeah.
a you know an ancestral person,
Yeah.
so they want their own bride.
Okay.
Correct. So now she's sitting here hurt because the spirits don't mix,
Okay.
but they connect beautifully, but the spirits don't mix. And in my example, same thing. Same thing. Dating guys, lovely human beings, but spiritually, we just didn't connect. And that's the biggest part where we need to connect, where I find myself needing to drag a person to church because, I mean, we are not connecting on certain levels.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that you cannot do, for example, as a Christian, where they are okay for other religions. And now you are here as a Christian saying, hey, I can't do that. And that's where the cheating comes in.
Okay. But then how because the whole spiritual talk, then how are even women, even men out there in the dating world, are they even considering stuff like that?
They're not, but they should. I think they should. It's the most important thing that you can ever consider.
Okay.
Peace, because that will give you peace, right? Say, for example, you get old, right? We connected on a physical level, and for some reason, patau shugel, you can't have sex anymore. Will my love for you die?
Would it?
No.
Yeah, but I mean, like going with what you're saying, but now we're still having two Christians or two spiritually aligned people still going their separate ways, then divorcing and still.
Absolutely correct.
Yes.
Absolutely correct. That's because you didn't vet the person then. Maybe that Christian is a traditionalist, married to a modern woman, and they just don't align.
Okay.
And I think instead of hitting at surface level,
Yeah.
we need to take this topic deeper.
Okay.
Because if I was going to talk to my child
Mm-hmm.
and advise her, I would not advise her to look at somebody and say this person could be a good match for me. Look at character, look at morals, look at spiritual, look at their intellect. Like, can they engage you on certain topics?
Yeah.
Can they try and, you know, change your perspective? You know, as opposed to looking at, can they take me out to social spaces that I like?
Well, but I mean, unfortunately, that's the world we live in now. Because yes, that's what I was talking about. The fact that some girls can find a man who's right for them, in every sense of what you just said. Now, all of those boxes being ticked,
Yeah.
but still lack in the other stuff that gets them excited. Because obviously, women are emotional creatures as well. So sometimes they need the emotions to be evoked in different ways, whether it's through excitement, laughter, and all these other different elements as
Yeah.
well. And sometimes, as much as I tick all these boxes, but the core thing that makes you who you are as an emotional being, I'm not able to evoke that side of you, and that becomes a problem, because there can be a guy who makes sense on paper, but then he's still not able to evoke what makes you a woman, if that makes sense.
Like what? In terms of making you feel aroused or what?
Yeah,
In what sense?
I think like tapping into emotional part of you with whatever gets you excited, whatever. You know, I guess like women are different as well, so there's different emotional levels. So it could be very broad spectrum in how you can see it, but you know that there's certain women who they'll remember a guy not because of what he did, but how he made her feel. You know, and that can be through in different ways, which is why some relationships are very toxic, because the man was able to evoke a certain emotion in the woman, and she carries that with him, and that's why sometimes she'll always go back to that guy because of that emotion that the guy
Yeah.
was able to evoke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some women get the emotion evoked through excitement. This guy's exciting. He like whenever he's around me, we do exciting things.
Yeah.
That's a certain emotion that gets evoked, and that's why that will always be how they remember that guy. You know, and yes, he's got character and all that other stuff that you mentioned as well. But the fact that he was able to evoke certain emotion, and this emotion can be anything, which is why even sometimes when a man can make a woman jealous, that's an emotion, you know,
It is.
and that emotion can also now keep her attached to this man because of whatever emotion he was able to evoke in her. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes there's a certain discrepancy that happens where now, sometimes how a man is on paper that's right for her, maybe clashing with how he's able to connect with her emotionally or evoke certain emotions that keep her connected to him,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Then don't choose that man. It's simple, guys. Like there's literally, you have choice.
Yeah.
Why do you want to make a choice that's going to leave you frustrated 10 years down the line?
Yeah.
You have choice. You have choice. Make that decision, you know, to protect your peace at all costs. Make that decision to protect your peace at all costs, because you can choose them,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, trust and believe one day that thing's gonna come up, and you won't be able to stand for it, and then you're gonna leave.
That's
So
true.
if a person does make sense for you but doesn't meet this category, and that category is important to you, then don't, you know. And also try by all means to also get some form of excitement from yourself, because you find people looking to other people to make them happy. Biggest disaster. Because then what if he wakes up and he doesn't want to make you happy? What if he always took you out, you know?
Yeah.
And then he decides one day that I just don't feel like it. So what? You're not gonna do all those things because he doesn't want to do them.
Yeah.
You need to do them by yourself. You need to do them yourself. Do
No, I
these
hear.
things yourself.
No, I hear you. Guys, how are we on time?
39
40,
minutes.
40 minutes in.
Yeah.
Okay.
39 minutes. Okay, so it's not too bad. I thought we've been talking for a while. I thought, okay, cool. I think, okay, fine. Maybe also another question to ask is that what do you think is the biggest reason for breakups, divorces, whatever, in relationships?
I think it's communication most
Okay.
of the time. You know, people who aren't able to communicate effectively. When you say people literally listen to respond, it's exactly that.
Okay.
When you communicate somebody doesn't receive it and accept and validate that emotion because it's how you feel, right? We cannot argue about how something made you feel.
Okay.
It's your feeling. You know, if something made you upset, I can't say, but that can't make you upset. You know, but what we do is, we question the person's feeling as opposed to validating their feeling, understanding, and then coming in and saying that, you know, my intention wasn't that. My intention was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay, now give me an example of what you're talking about. Because, I mean, I know, okay, fine, maybe just through the guys I've spoken to and just through experience, like it's very difficult for women to do that in most cases. Like women tend to internalize everything that you may say or do and make it like you're attacking her as a person. You know what I mean? Would you agree or disagree with that?
I wouldn't say women.
Okay.
I would say probably everybody.
Okay.
You know, and that's not effective communication.
So how would you? So that's what I was asking for an example. Like, how would you kind of paint a good communication structure?
Sure, my word, you're gonna take me into counseling.
Well, I think
So,
obviously, like, I'm just trying just to give perspective for people who are watching, and maybe for them they thinking they're communicating effectively, and maybe that's why I'm thinking an example
okay.
could give them whoever's watching perspective. Like, oh, okay, so maybe this is what
So,
I should be doing. Okay.
so what we teach, right? What we kind of get into in counseling is when you communicate your feelings, don't say you did this, you did that.
Okay.
We use I feel statements.
Okay.
You know, when I say I feel upset by I feel upset that you picked me up late from work.
Okay.
What would your response be?
If you told me that.
Yeah. I feel upset that you picked me up late from work, and I did communicate this in the morning
Yeah.
that I'm knocking off at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
and you agreed. So I feel very upset right now that you didn't come and pick me up on time.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but like traffic was bad, so there's nothing I could do on my end. So I tried to make it on time, but unfortunately, it was beyond my control.
Okay. So how would you respond if I said, you know what? Uyangidina because ungilande late ngitshelile ukuthi I am coming out at 3 o'clock.
Yeah. I'll probably shut down. I'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Do you understand the two different communications, right? And how we would then teach the male to respond is that you validate. I'm sorry, I understand why
Okay.
you're upset.
Okay.
Right.
Also, you need to. So that's your prefix. You need to get instead
I'm
of.
sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, are you not sorry?
Yeah.
Right? If you are sorry, then you apologize. You say, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way.
Yeah.
It wasn't my intention.
Yeah.
It's just that at this time there's traffic.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, oh, yes, I actually remember when I drive down, there is traffic. I understand.
Hey, guys, you must take notes.
We are okay in the home. Nobody's upset.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So I think communication really breaks relationships, finances,
Yeah.
breaks relationships. And I think that people need to get into the routine of having uncomfortable conversations in relationships.
Okay.
The uncomfortable conversation of talking about money. What are you responsible for? And how do we then keep you accountable for that? You know, I think people need to really, really start having uncomfortable conversations, even at the beginning of the relationships. Speak about boundaries. Boundaries break up a lot of relationships because people don't communicate their boundaries, they just act them out. But how's the next person going to know that that's a boundary for you if you didn't say?
So then, how do you give a boundary to your partner or your potential partner in a way that is conducive to hopefully not offending, or maybe not being too critical? Like how would you, yeah, like how would you give?
Sure, please give me an example. What would have happened?
Uh, let's say a boundary is yeah, boundary
Let's
goes.
do cell phone boundaries.
Okay, let's do cell phone boundaries.
Cell
Yeah.
phone boundaries. Let's talk about cell phone boundaries, right? When we are in a relationship
Yeah.
together and we've made it a point, we know you have asked me out, you know, and I said yes.
Yes.
And we are agreeing that we are going to be in this relationship together, just the two of us.
Yes.
Not person 3, 4, 5,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we need to speak about the boundaries. How do we define cheating? You define cheating. What is cheating? So that we both, and because some people will say, no, but talking is not cheating. But it is cheating. You are entertaining other people outside of me.
Okay.
You know, also in terms of cell phone accessibility, you know, yes, you have the right to privacy, but do you need to be secretive about it? You know, like you have every right to have cell phone privacy, but when I say, can I borrow your phone? And you're just like, no, you know, what are you doing with my phone? I should be able to take your phone, put in your password, and make a phone call. You know, while respecting your privacy,
Yeah.
that I won't go through your WhatsApp.
Yeah.
That is your private stuff in
Yeah.
there. You know, you only start doing those kind of things when certain things come up, when you start seeing, this person, now they are always with the phone in the pocket.
Or the
Why?
phone is facing
Or
down.
the phone then you start saying, no, now I need to see what's happening.
Now you're curious.
You know, now I'm like, something's not right. When you went to the loo, you used to leave your phone here and you trusted that I won't touch your phone.
Yeah.
So now what is going on? And immediately when that happens, bring it up to your partner. Don't sit on something and wait for something big to happen and then you like,
Start bringing out files.
now you're bringing out files. No, speak about it. Say, I'm noticing this. What's going on?
What's happening?
You know, and maybe I understand why people won't do that, because then maybe they'll seem like they're confrontational.
Yeah. They're afraid of rocking the boat.
You know,
Yeah.
but rock that boat. Rock it before you get into marriage, because once you get into marriage, it gets worse.
Yeah.
It gets worse. What you didn't rock is going to be your life.
Yeah.
In the marriage.
The boat is gonna sink.
Yeah, the boat is going to sink because you are afraid to say, but I don't like it if you hug other girls, you know, in front of me, you know, and then you wonder why your partner is always upset when you are at the workplace and she's there. It's because she didn't state her boundary.
Do you think there are unreasonable boundaries? Or a boundary is a boundary? It's like there's no...
Sure.
There's no black and white about it.
I'm yet to hear of an unreasonable boundary.
Okay.
Right, I'm here to hear. Because remember, we've gone through a lot in our lives. And all of that we've gone through, we bring it into relationships.
The relationships, yes.
Right? And that's why it should be a conversation. So that when I'm like, but I feel like this is unreasonable. You know, or like maybe for somebody who says, you can't hold my hand in public. Okay, it's a boundary of mine. Okay, but why? You know, I think that would be unreasonable unless you're hiding something.
Yeah.
You know, I think that would be that would
unreasonable
be an unreasonable
doesn't
boundary.
make sense.
Why are you saying that? You know, what triggers you about me holding your hand?
And then what is your concept of love languages? What is your love language?
My love language, I have love languages, which is all of them. I'm just joking.
Okay.
My love language is it's intimacy, right? Okay,
Physical touch, yeah.
physical touch, and quality time.
Okay.
And quality time. That's my love language.
So then what is your whole idea or that perspective of love languages? Do you think it's information that's relevant in terms of couples? How do you approach it? And because I've also realized that sometimes relationships don't work because of the disconnect of love languages,
Yeah.
where a person may know their love language, but because they've never inquired about their partner's love language. So, to give an example, you'll find a guy who he assumes that the love language is gifts. So, otama gift. Only to find out what her love language is time. And he doesn't understand what to why I buy her flowers, I buy her gifts, but she's still
Always
upset.
upset, yeah.
And he doesn't understand she actually just wants me to be around her because quality time is her love language. Or maybe when I'm with her, she wants me to hold her hand because physical touch is her love language. Or Magnae, I must compliment her because words of affirmation are her love language. But because I don't know that, then it becomes a clash of love languages because you feel like you're doing everything right. And that's why sometimes you get guys who they complain to their friends like, I understand what you're going to because I do 1, 2, 3, I do the right things, but she's still not happy.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Love languages are very important. It's very important to even discuss them in a relationship because you don't want to find yourself being loved the wrong way.
Okay.
Because what we do as human beings, like the way I feel I want to receive love, that's how
Yeah,
I'm gonna love you.
You project that, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna love you in that way, and then you just like, no, that's not my thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't fulfill me. But if you do other things, like I just make you a cup of coffee in the morning, and I'm just like, hey, I was able to go fill up your car with petrol, not me, of course, but the gent. A gent,
You'd
yes.
never.
I filled up your car with petrol. I did this for you, and you really feel fulfilled. But you'll see other women who have husbands who do everything for them. But they're not fulfilled. Maybe because quality time.
He's never around.
He's never around.
Yes.
And maybe understandably so, because to have all these things, he's a busy man.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with the saying that people make time for what they love.
Okay.
There's no way you are always not available. So even the richest person can make time for the person that they love.
So like with that example, because especially in the dating situation, so is it fair enough for me as a guy who is dating a girl, or we're in I don't even know what stage we call it, but we're kind of vibing, and then I send her a text or a voice note, or I try to call her. There's a missed call. There's a message that goes in, and she doesn't respond. And maybe she responds the following day or after 2 days. Is it fair for me to assume that she's not interested?
Yeah.
Right?
What would be the valid reason for that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, girls can come with their reasons like, no, hey, I wasn't on my phone, or my phone was what. Yeah.
Okay, but you are in a relationship.
Yeah.
And communication.
No, but that's why
Yeah, no.
I had to prefix and say that maybe it's not a full-on relationship yet, but you guys are at that stage where you've kind of concluded that we like each other, but it's not a relationship, but we're getting there.
Then you.
So basically, I'm not the one. I'm not the one.
You're not the one. She's probably entertaining other people.
Okay.
But yeah, you see with even these terms vibing.
Yeah.
And it makes things complicated because where are we? Like, why must I pick up my phone and think of you first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why must you take up space in my head if we are vibing?
No, but but to speak the truth, like that's how, especially and women are the one who like this word vibe. Yes.
I think I'm too old for this.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I'm too old for this.
Yeah, because women are always the ones who go to vibe. Or maybe that vibe was off, which obviously for them they're kind of referring to energies. And I think maybe that's why women are also so inclined to be into like horoscopes. Because there's certain girls who won't date a guy because he's a Pisces. what's the son? I am a person like, hey,
We won't get along, we won't fight.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's where I think girls a lot, they put that whole vibes, energies into the mix, and that's why then I guess even within like getting to know each other, that plays a part. Where I could literally be everything that ticks your boxes, but then all of a sudden you reject me because the vibe was off.
What is that? Vibe is what? Energy.
That's what guys are asking now. What vibe are you talking about? Now,
Yeah,
not just confused. Now, this guys, what do you
What's
mean?
vibe? Are we vibing? Or maybe it's connecting.
Maybe.
Are we connecting?
Could be.
Maybe it could be like, are we connecting? And yeah, if you're not connecting.
Or maybe it's chemistry as well. You could put chemistry into that folder or that box. Yeah.
But if you're not connecting, to be honest, guys,
yeah,
I'm gonna say, ne, and I'm saying this because mental health is important.
Yes.
If you're not vibing, okay.
Yeah,
then don't vibe with them. Vibe with somebody else. Depending on what vibing means as well.
To that person. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's very broad and it can mean different things for different people.
Exactly. But also, there are people who are not phone people.
Okay.
Right? So if like I have a friend, I'll send her a text. Mm-hmm. She will literally respond in 2 days. Mm. And I've accepted.
Well, that's how she is.
That's how she is. That's her. It's not that she's ignoring you.
Yeah.
She's just not on her phone. She's reading. She's doing something, Jay. That doesn't have to do with she's not even on social media.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. So when you also see that they didn't respond, maybe, okay, before you come to a conclusion, check first if they are a phone person. If they're constantly on socials. If they aren't, pick up the call and call them and chat. Maybe that's the best way you'll get hold of them.
Yeah, no, but in today's time, guys, they see stuff like that, they're like,
But you could lose a soulmate.
Yeah?
You could lose a soulmate because you don't want to pick up the phone and call them.
No, but you've already initiated something, though. You've called, you've texted. I mean, for all you know, you've been ghosted. Oh, there's another term, by the way, ghosting. Ghosting, and then there's another one, breadcrumbing. Do you know breadcrumbing?
No, I was still on gaslighting.
Yeah,
when
gaslighting.
Breadcrumbing came. Like throwing crumbs. I think I get the point. Yeah, where they just throw you a little bit of something to keep you
interested. Yeah.
But you see, this is why people need... I think people need to understand the terms.
Yes.
So that they can see it when it happens to them and they can pull away. Because I also feel like a lot of guys love bomb women.
They love what?
They love bomb women.
How so? Like, what do you
mean? They
love
love you.
Oh, love bombing.
They love you with everything.
They love bombing,
chat to you.
All the time.
All the time. They text you, they call you, they hear.
Yes.
They are here.
They love bombing,
and then 3 months later, how? 5 hours goes by.
Or something.
This person hasn't called.
Yeah.
That time you were chatting to your friends, my man. Your man is like now dropping 5% here and there. Love bombing. I think women really, it's an important term for them to understand what love bombing is. When somebody showers you with so much love. And I also feel like it's a manipulation.
From the guy?
From whoever is doing it, actually, because both genders are capable of doing that. So if somebody is love bombing you, they want to get you hooked, so that when they start letting go, you are so hooked that you start doing the work. When they didn't call, then you start initiating the calls. You start sending the texts. Now you start saying, hey, let's go out to a restaurant. We haven't been out in a while. And you used to go out maybe
twice a week.
Twice a week. Let's say twice a week. And then you started going out like every 2 weeks. And then they'll just throw it in there, just to get you hooked again. It's manipulation. Even the gaslighting, guys. It's serious. I'm gonna say manipulative hacks. That are really dangerous in society.
They happen.
Because can you imagine, you decide on You decide after 3 months to marry this guy, or they propose after 3 months, and you guys decide to get married because he's been consistent in the love bombings. And when you get into marriage, it's like, you here now, surprise, all of that falls away.
Yeah.
So I think personally, people need to vet and use the correct vetting system when it comes to dating. Yes, it's all fun and games, but batlaw herder, ne? I get it. We like saying, oh,
Yeah.
batlaw herder.
They give it a trending term. Yes.
Yeah, we're playing.
Yeah.
But it's also it's got an emotional impact.
It does.
The batlaw herder is the reason why we have the society. When people are saying, oh, batlaw herder, and we're laughing about it, that's the reason why she was gaslit. That's why she's this human, this girl now. They love bombed her. That's why she's being like this to men now, right? But I'm not saying it's correct. All I'm saying is that people need to understand what is happening to them, because choice is up to you. You decide at the end of the day, and you have no one to blame about your choice. Your choice is your choice.
How long would you say is a vetting period? Because I would say for guys, it depends on the guy themselves, but I mean, a guy could vet a girl for like 6 months to a year.
6 months. Silo, are you there? Apparently, Barry, you guys know. After you sat down on a date with me, you already know if we're gonna get married or not. Is it not? No.
I think that
apparently that's what I hear in the streets. No.
I think as a guy, you're attracted to who you are, and then you spend time with her. You understand like who she is, or maybe like bits and pieces. Because I still believe that like women change, man, and sometimes people always give their first impressions or the good side of who they are in those early stages, and then as time goes, then all of a sudden things change.
I love how you say women change. People change.
Yeah, well, people change, but women mostly change because of emotional impact.
You see, thank you. No, never mind emotional impact.
Yeah.
The reason why women change and they're never the same in a month is because we have to understand that their cycle plays a very important role in who they are.
Yeah.
So you could be chatting to a bubbly human being on week 1, and on week 2 they just spitting fire.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand that, then you're going to keep dumping them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that both genders change because men change as well.
No, but like that period that I was talking about, I think especially in today's time, because of just how much influence there is in the dating market, that sometimes now it's almost like the vetting process has to be now extended further. That's what I'm saying for women, because women are more conducive to influence.
But character doesn't lie. That's all I'm gonna say. Character doesn't lie. If you vet a person on their character won't lie. Character will come out. They can pretend all they want, but their character, their real self, will show itself. Yeah. Right? You can place them in situations where you want to see how jealous they are and how they react when they're jealous. Yeah. Place them in that situation and see what happens. Walk up to a guy, hug them. Hey, how are you doing, friend? Have a big fat chat while they're standing here. And you literally ignoring them. And then after maybe 10 minutes say, hi, this is so-and-so, so-and-so, this is so-and-so. And see how they handle that situation, because their character is not going to lie. Okay,
let's use it as an example. You see that example. Now, the reason why I'm talking about, like when you say character can be perspective. Now, in that example, let's say her character shows her, yes, you're ignoring her, you make it try to feel jealous to see how she's going to react. And then she's like, okay, cool. She reacts how you'd like her to react. She doesn't show, doesn't cause a scene. She's very polite, But then from that situation, then she becomes passive aggressive. Now she starts say, okay, cool. Anyway. You understand what I'm saying?
That's who you are.
Yeah, or like that's who you are. Or they'll take that and then they start defining you by that, and then they start moving from that test, if you may say, and then maybe her moving forward is maybe she starts maybe not giving that attention anymore, or she starts, like I said, being passive aggressive to a situation where of like, okay, cool, and when he did that, so I guess I can
Yeah.
do this. You know what I mean?
Shame.
Cause like that happens. But now you took the character at face value through seeing her. I thought, oh, she acted actually pretty cool. She was not a brush like, and then bad man. You know what I'm saying? She was pretty done so, but because of how her character is, she's very calculative. Like, all right, I see you. Type of,
but
know.
That's a character showing.
No,
She's
but
calculating.
yeah, no, but obviously, like that character does not show itself in that, like how you would see it at face value. It probably just creeps out a bit and a bit because of how she moves. So what I'm trying to say, what some character traits may not be as obvious as maybe you'd like it to be, and some things maybe they need a bit of more time to be like, oh snap, she's actually like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why maybe, like I said, maybe because of today's time, maybe not because girls have also gotten smart in how they move. Now they've kind of said, okay, this is how we have to treat guys. You know, and there's that whole community of a certain group of girls who they're teaching other girls, like, guys, this is how you need to deal with these men type of approach. And then they're giving them all these tricks and trades. Go to mngani makayenza kanje wena wenza kanje. You know what I'm saying? So there's girls who are skilled in this game of dating in terms of knowing how to finesse guys, and because of maybe being able to express themselves, now they're spreading that whole narrative. Now they're like, no, guys, this is how you need to move when you want to get this kind of guy, and because this is how guys will react, you know, in terms of, you know what I mean? And I guess that's where also the disconnect also happens, because, you know, now you're like, I thought she was the one, man. And that time you've probably been a month, 2 months with her, everything seemed cool, and all of a sudden there's certain things that, because you must remember that when you're getting to know somebody, there's going to be the first time you see them happy, there's going to be the first time you see them angry, there's going to be the first time you see them sad, there's going to be the first time you see them. So there's going to be all these new first impressions that you're going to get with them. And those first impressions are usually going to be the ones that kind of either inspire you to continue, or they're going to be like, maybe, you know, maybe this is not the one.
Sure.
And again, because of the time we're living in, people believe they've got more options. You know, now it's easy to say, well, you know what, Olarato young pora, and Usindi seems a little bit better, and you know, because you've got all these options, and women will also do the same. It's like, no, Usilo, you know what, he's nice here, but he doesn't, you know, there's something that's off. Usipo seems to be a better fit, you know. So I think because of the illusion of options, that now we live in a space where like people can just take the smallest thing and make it huge and make it a big enough reason to be like, okay, cool, let's move this way, you know. But yeah, it's been an amazing conversation. Are you like, do you feel better now? Because I know you're a bit nervous. Started.
I feel okay.
Yeah,
I feel
but
better.
but like, what would be your parting words in terms of, because I like what you spoke about in terms of the approach of issues, but in terms of advice, what would you say to women? I'd say, I don't know if you want to say anything to men, but specifically women, in terms of how to move in today's times from a relationship perspective, like your last parting words.
I would say that before people decide to get into a relationship, you know, we're discussing it with my business partner, and we're saying that they need to seek counseling
before they get into the relationship.
Before they get into the relationship.
But
just come for counseling.
But at what
just
point?
Come for
at what point, like when
at
they've
a
actually,
point where you decide,
or like you've chosen each
like
other, like, listen,
other.
let's be exclusive, or let's take it.
Come for counseling. Come for counseling and talk issues through, and learn how to communicate effectively.
Okay.
You know, and I also think that people downplay their power of choice.
Okay.
Just because you have these options presented to you doesn't mean you have to choose anyone.
Okay.
If you don't like them, you don't like them. You know, if you don't want to be with them, don't be with them. I think people get caught up in the thing, I'm gonna be alone. Yeah, I'd rather be alone than be unhappy. That song is literally starting to make sense.
Okay.
You know, but I think from my perspective and my life experience, you have the power to choose. Women, literally, you have the power to choose. Even men, you have the power to choose, because if you see that a woman is not the woman that you want, it doesn't matter. Quality over quantity. So you can't choose time spent together over the quality of a
Of
relationship.
those moments, yeah.
So you need to pick and choose wisely, because your choice is a difference between you having a peaceful life and a chaotic life. Right? And I think to men, honestly, I think men need to seek counseling, to be
As
honest.
well, yeah.
Like,
We all need it.
seriously.
Yeah. We
Seriously,
all
I
need
think,
it.
and we can downplay it, because in today's day and age, you see a lot more men wanting to openly commit suicide. It's not that they want to do it, it's a cry for help, you know, and we don't know what is causing it, but most of the time I see it's the issues at home. So just be open to seeking counseling. Have a different perspective. You know, have a different perspective. Renew your mind. Don't always stay and hear what the collective on social media are saying. On social media, we are literally talking vibes. It's got
Yeah.
its own culture
It's
there.
vibes, yeah.
You know, it's not real life. Social media is not real life. I can take my friend's flowers and present them and say, my man loves me so much. I can take a picture with my brother's shoulder and say, my man, my man, my man. So social media is a lie. Don't base your relationship on that. Relationships are personal, you know. So that's what I would say in parting.
Awesome, man. Appreciate that. Anyway, guys, that's another episode for you guys. Catch you guys on the next one. As always, please comment, subscribe, share, leave, us, tell us what you think of the episode, and we'll see you on the next video, man.